Yo haga everybody. Apparently on this outing our mics didn't work. So we have no audio. That's why I'm here. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. On this crisp, cool morning, Catie and I and her dad decided to go into Jackson. It's always dressed up really cute for the holidays. It has Christmas music playing. And it's quite lovely. And we decided to go basically take a stroll. What we didn't know was Jackson is not so great with accessibility for wheelchairs, as you're about to find out when we encounter our first set of stairs. Things like this happen. We expected to run into some of it because the town is so old, but we decided, all right, let's go ahead and we'll turn around. We'll go back to where we saw a ramp and we'll cross the street, and where we wanted to go for coffee, we can still get to it by doing that. So Catie's going to go ahead and cross the street here. As you can see, there's basically a ramp. The curb has been removed and here and across the street. So Catie does that. And our plan is to go to this hotel that you can see, the white building at the end of the street. Right over there is a lovely little coffee place. And that's where we're headed. Now, the little town of Jackson is from the 1850s. You know, they didn't have wheelchair accessibility, and over the years they have added, different parts of it as is required by law, basically. But we've come to discover that they can do better, as you're about to see. When we get to this corner, we realize that this crosswalk, there's no ramp. No problem. We're going to go right over here to the corner, this other corner. And as you can see, where my husband is, it's even with the street. So theoretically, you could go across there, except that when you get across to the other side, there's a curb. So you can't. All right, so Catie's going to go down here to where there's another crosswalk. It is even with the street, so she will be able to cross. And look at that. There is a ramp there. But she can't cross the street because on the other side there is no ramp. It is only curb. So let's see, where does Catie have to go before she can safely cross the street? There's a driveway. I guess she could cross across traffic where there's no crosswalk from one driveway to the next. But I mean, if cars don't see motorcycles, how well do they see wheelchairs? This crosswalk is also curbed. No ramp there or on the other side. So now Catie's going to have to go all the way to the end of the street where there, you can see, is no crosswalk. but it is a ramp. So there she goes, hoping the cars see her so she could get to the correct side of the street that she needs to be on. You'll get a better understanding of how far she's gone when we go back, just to try to get back to the car. So now we're on our way to get coffee. Just making her way around. Well, we realize the town is from the 1849, 1850s. We get that. And we realize that it wasn't until the 70s that they even put ramps in, were required to have ramps. And we also realize that disability accessibility, not just wheelchairs, but all disabilities weren't even recognized, protected, and the laws weren't even forced on everybody until 1993. I want you to realize that. 1993. My daughter was born in 1993. So there's the curb that she can't cross there. There's a curb there where my husband is. The other side of the streets have the ramps for these crosswalks, but the connecting side does not have a ramp, which doesn't even make sense. So now she's to get back to where our car is and where we want to shop. Catie's now got to go all the way back down the road to where the stop sign is to cross the street. So you just watch and enjoy. Also, Boiler Works was closed that day, but they were very nice, and they saw Catie outside and they brought her a lovely warm cup of coffee. So thank you for your kindness, our friends at Boiler Works. Catie crosses again. There's no crosswalk there. This angle you can clearly see the curbs where the crosswalk is. No ramps there. Now mind you, she's had to go all the way to the stop sign, cross the street, come all the way back down just to get back to us, her family, who's waiting for her. So we can continue our day, our outing. Disabled people just want access. They just want to go shopping, and they don't always want to have family with them. Now where I'm standing, Catie can't come to me because there's no ramp on my side. So she's going to cross the street because this is where the ramp is. And my husband and I cross the street to meet her. All that to get a cup of coffee in a wheelchair in Jackson, California. On top of it, Catie, you can't hear her because our mics weren't working, but she's talking about the challenges of trying to get around this town, and she was feeling very frustrated about the whole situation. And people who were on the street were kind of rude. One man literally told her stop complaining. And you know what? Disabled people have a right to have a voice, and disabled people have a right to call out bullshit when they see it. It's BS that someone in a wheelchair can't have reasonable access in their own town. And when you are out there as an able-bodied person and you see a disabled person feeling frustrated, show a little compassion. She just wants to shop like other people. Unfortunately, a lot of able-bodied people want disabled people. They don't like to look at disabled people. They find them inconvenient. They find them frightening. I think the realization for a lot of people when they see a disabled person is that that could be me. That thing could happen to me. And so if you blame them or you reject them, then somehow you're protecting yourself from ending up in a wheelchair or with a brain injury or with whatever disability you happen to come across. Life happens, people. And we could all end up in a place where we need help and where we would like to have access. So show compassion. Like the lady who owned this store, when Catie came in, as you can see, the store is very filled to the brim with Christmas items, and it's a beautiful store. But it makes it hard to get around in a wheelchair. And instead of the lady who was running the store, instead of her being annoyed or ignoring the situation, she walked through and did her best to make as much of the store accessible as possible. Now, there were going to be some corners that were just going to be too challenging, but she was kind and she tried. She moved some things around so Catie could get through. As you can see right here, the way the trees are decorated, Catie just couldn't, but the lady moved other things out of the way so that Catie could access much of the store. So she was able to shop and be a part of this community. I just also want to add that a lot of people in wheelchairs can exit their wheelchair. That is not an uncommon thing. It's used as a mobility device. Catie was having so many seizures and falling that it was just getting painful to her and challenging for us to catch her every time. And the wheelchair allows her to have some independence. She doesn't have to worry about falling into things or having to have someone with her, right next to her every second of every day. After getting a few ornaments at that lovely store, we headed down to one of our favorite spots here, which is a candy store. They have all kinds of cookie cutters and candy and even a few little toys. And it's just a really nice place. And as you're about to see, it's extremely accessible. The woman who owned the store explained to us that a few years back, someone actually sued a bunch of the stores in Jackson because they were not accessible, which is a consequence of us not considering that people want to be a part of things, and to make things accessible for them. But she said that due to that situation, they are extremely accessible now. So we looked at some candy, we bought some candy for Christmas stockings, and Catie was able to reach things and participate fully in the experience of this lovely candy store. Catie found these strawberry bonbons, and she put some in our basket because she insisted that as a grandmother now, I am required to have some of these in my purse at all times. And now our mics work. All right. Well, we've ended up in the candy store. And we had a successful day despite some challenges. Candy store is super accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So
look at this.
Katie's enjoying some bubblegum ice cream that she hasn't had in a really long time.
No, I never eat ice cream anymore. So I'm getting a treat.
So
Demon bubblegum ice cream.
Yohaga, everybody.
Bubblegum, let's just drink my head. Bubblegum ice cream. Yohaga, everybody. We went to candy store. We went to words. Yep. No, we don't got an outro for you. This is all I got.
Make the best of your life, even when you have obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Look for the sweet moments.
Find sweet.
Today it's an ice cream instead of a donut. And live your best life. See you next time.
Yohaga, you only have one go around.